Okay, guys, so this is your tutorial set 12 for stormwater drainage. So inside there's a few questions and most of them is theory based lah. So you'll be able to find the answer in your lecture notes. So for your first question, which is to explain the needs of stormwater management. So as per this, stormwater management is a mechanism for controlling stormwater runoff for the purpose of minimizing the catchment flow rates, runoff volume, and frequency of flooding through implementation of construction sediment and quantity control to diminish the effect of land use changes. So in response to the change, systems consisting of curb, gutter, drain, and line channel are developed to safely convey the runoff through the catchment. And although such effect from a small individual site may be inconsequential to the collective effect of numerous sites throughout the catchment, can have substantial impact on the environment, especially in the catchment lower reaches. So in short, stormwater management is important to ensure that the area do not flood. So if you do not have stormwater management, then you do not have a system in place where the pipe go from a normal small residential pipe to a very big covered pipe as the water accumulate to be offset it to the river. Then if you don't have all these sensors in place, then city will certainly flood lah. So in a village, you do not need this sort of stormwater management because the area itself will be able to drain off the rainwater. But when you come to a city where most of the land area has been covered with concrete road, so stormwater management is very important in a city. So if you do not have a proper system in place, then you will find that flooding will always occur lah in a particular part of the area or taman where the land is very low. So that area will become where a land is very low, then that area will become a catchment area for all the rainwater that's gonna flow towards to. So flooding will be happening lah. Okay, so for question number 2, so is to name the concept of property drainage and explain the function of property drainage. So there's a 5 to 6 component of it here. So one of it is open or closed drain, and then you have a pipe, and then you have a sump, and then you have a swale, and then on-site storage facility. So these are the few components of the property drainage that you can find. So pipe is what you all of this you can find it out what it means lah, what is all of component it represent. So the function of all this property drainage is the storm water conveyance system proposed within a element. So all these component is in a property. So all of these component made up your property drainage system in your property itself. So all of them combined together will be the system in which your properties will drain off all the rainwater lah. So the drainage system collects water from roof via down pipe, which is a pipe, surface of area around the building, and then flow onto the public street drainage system. So usually drainage will be closed. This is for safety reason lah. If people are nearby, you can have open drainage, but you'll be at a place where people don't usually walk past by lah. Usually in front of your house there will be open drainage, and then on the place where you frequently go in and out of your house, then you have a closed drainage. So pipe will be for your roofing, and then some will be what you'll find at the end of your pipe. So this is to ensure that the water coming down will be going into the sump lah, so that the impact of the water will be within this sump. And then swale will be one of the type of your property drainage. And on-site storage facility, this is usually if you are using it, you are recycling the rainwater. So you have this. But in Malaysia, we don't have it lah, because water is very cheap for us. So we don't really store rainwater unless we are recycling the rainwater to water our plant in the landed property, then we might have some sort of like a vase or a can to keep this water to be reused to rain out to water our plant lah. Okay, so next we have our question 3, which is to name 3 components of rainwater harvesting system and list the benefit of harvesting rainwater in a domestic building. So one of the 3 components is catchment, conveyance, and filter and storage. Okay, so the benefit of harvesting rainwater is we actually reduce our water demand, means we don't have to open our tap and use up the water that has been filtered by our water treatment system. And then we reduce energy demand. So this is a case where lesser energy is required for water distribution. So because we use grey water, we reduce the energy demand in terms of the water treatment distribution system. They actually distribute water using pump. So if you don't use the water supply, then you are actually reducing your water usage and also helping to reduce the energy demand lah, used to power up the pump to distribute the water to your area. And then finally, because you're not just allowing the rainwater to just flow into the drainage system, you can actually help prevent a bit of the urban flooding. So instead of the water just going into the drainage system, you are actually keeping some of the rainwater and using it to water your plant or maybe to wash your car porch. So this is a few of the benefit lah. Since rain you can obtain it for free, so why not collect a bit of it to water your plant or maybe to wash your car or maybe the flooring outside the flooring. So the idea behind rainwater harvesting is to utilize what we have, to collect what is free and try to use it instead of paying money and using the services that's made available to us which costs money. Okay, so question 4, explain the main function of the on-site detention system. So this on-site detention system is to restrict the rate of stormwater leaving a site by temporarily storing it in a detention pond. So it can have a gutter, pipe, open drainage, flow. So all of this is to ensure that all the water, instead of discharging it straight to the drainage system that you have, you actually have a storage to ensure that there's not a very high output of the rainwater exiting your site. So this is to ensure that there's no changes in land use and do not cause more downstream flooding. So usually on-site detention you might find maybe in a taman, and then sometimes you have to look around lah. There will be some sort of like man-made lake, and then when it's in raining season, then you'll see that there's water, and when it's off raining season, then you'll see that this sort of concrete lake, which is usually very small, there won't be any water in it. Okay, so question 5, you have to discuss the key requirement of hill drainage. So for hill drainage, you want to have a large detention facility, and then you want to have a runoff filtration facility that are not permitted. Drainage facility are fully lined. Encourage integration of efficient subsoil drainage, and then wet sediment basin and wet pond are not permitted unless they are fully lined. So hillside drainage, you want to ensure that the runoff is not too much, and then if there's any drainage facility, they have to be fully lined, means concrete base if it's possible, and you want to encourage that the subsoil can drain off the water or is permeable lah. So this is a key requirement of the hillside drainage. Okay, so for question 6, you have to list and compare the 2 categories of public storm drainage. So public storm drainage can be divided into 2 categories, which is major and minor. So the difference between them is that if you have a minor category of the public storm water system, then it will be some sort of like a swale, drain, and pipes. So this actually collects the water and convey the runoff to a impound area. And then when you go towards a major system, then this is more towards a natural stream, a channel, a pond, a lake, a wetland, a large pipe, or covered. So minor is for the situation where the runoff isn't very high, and then for major system, then it will be for a runoff that is very high runoff for water. Means a very high quantity of water lah, that needs to be allowed to be flow through. Okay, so next is the component in the minor system. So they are only for short duration, whereas for major system, it will be for a very significant amount of rainwater and also for a long duration storm. And then besides that, then for the minor system, you are intending it to collect, control, and to convey the runoff, the rainwater from the building infrastructure and utility, and for a short period of time. But then for major system, you want to protect a community from any large or reasonable rare stormwater event. So if you were to look at our event in our how rainwater event happen, how rain happen. So rain has a cycle. So what it means by a cycle is that every 10 years and every 100 years, or maybe every 50 years to 100 years, there will be one off event where rain will pour down very heavily. So this sort of major system is there. It will be there to protect our community lah against this large, rare, high quantity storm. So normally rain doesn't happen very heavily lah, but maybe once every 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, or 50 years, or even 100 years, there will be a rare occurrence of rain which happens very heavily. So this major system will be there to deal with this rare occurrence of storm event, where this minor system will fail lah. Okay, so last question, you are to discuss the pros and cons of adopting swales as drain component. So the pro is that it's very easy to incorporate into landscaping because swale is very nice to the eye. It's usually consists of grass. So you can remove the urban pollutant, you can reduce the runoff rates and volume, low capital cost, and maintenance can be incorporated into general landscape management. So having swales as your drainage system in your community will look very nice, but there's disadvantage to it. So it's not suitable for steep area, and then there's risk of blockage in connecting pipework and covered. So this is due to all the urban pollutant. And then sufficient land may not be available for suitable swale design to be incorporated. So if you look at the lecture notes, the swale will require quite a large area to design. And then standing water in vegetated swale can result in potential safety, odor, and mosquito problem. So a swale is not man-made, but is not fully 100% man-made material, which is concrete, but is made out of slopes and vegetation. So this vegetation will look very nice for your architectural finishes, meaning the area will look very nice, but it won't be suitable lah. And if you do not maintain it, then it will not be very suitable lah. So you need a maintenance cost to it also. So if you don't maintain it, there will be a lot of problem due to the rubbish maybe being collected on a swale, and then you can result in mosquito problem lah in Malaysia. So Malaysia has is a tropical country, so there's a lot of rain. So this will cause a mosquito problem in which we do not really want to deal with it lah. So this is it lah. Okay. So this is the idea. This is how you answer for your tutorial 12. So if you have any question, feel free to ask now.